start here. Got the thing leaning back way too far. All right. Hello, I'm Lee. Happy Sabbath. Going to continue studying Deuteronomy. We ended on Deuteronomy chapter 16 last week. Start off with a couple of verses here. This is just a scripture study. 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And also in the Old Testament, his truth is his law. Not really Old Testament, but also 1 Thessalonians 5:21, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. So we'll start here. We've got Deuteronomy 17, Dead Sea Scrolls, some of the translations pulled up here, the Samaritan Pentateuch, the Thompson Septuagint, Brenton Septuagint, KJV, Blue Letter Bible, and the Aramaic Targums on Kelos and Jonathan. And I want to pull up Is that it? Yeah, maybe not. I had heard that some of the Dead Sea Scrolls were incorporated into this, but I'm going to have to research it more. The New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition. Alright, so Deuteronomy 17. You shall not sacrifice to Yahuwah your Elohim an ox or a sheep in which is a defect or anything evil, for that is an abomination to Yahuwah your Elohim. If there is found among you within any of your gates which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you, a man or woman who does that which is evil in Yahuwah your Elohim's sight, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, or the sun, or the moon, or any of the stars of the sky, which I have not commanded. Also here, does it say Moses' covenant, or does it say Yahuwah's covenant? It's his covenant given to Moses. And you are told, and you have heard of it, and then you shall inquire diligently. Behold, if it is true and the thing certain that such abomination is done in Israel, then you shall bring out that man or that woman who has done this evil thing to your gates, even that same man or woman, and you shall stone them to death with stones. Say 5. Yep. Let's go over here. Verse 6. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hand of the witnesses shall be the first on him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people, so you shall remove the evil from among you. Say verse 8. So we're missing 8. 8 to 12. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, and between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which Yahuwah thy Elohim shall choose, and thou shalt come unto the priests the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which Yahuwah Elohim of you shall choose shall show thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the mouth of judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do, and thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee to the right hand nor to the left. The man who does presumptuously in not listening to the priest who stands to minister there before Yahuwah your Elohim, or to the judge, even that man shall die. You shall put away the evil from Israel. 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. When you have come into the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you, and possess it, and dwell in it, and say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are around me, you shall surely set him king over yourselves, whom Yahuwah your Elohim chooses. You shall set as king over you one from among your brothers. You may not put a foreigner over you, who is not your brother. Only he shall not multiply horses to himself, this for the king, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he may multiply horses, because Yahuwah has said to you, you shall not go back that way again. He shall not multiply wives to himself, that his heart not turn away. He shall not greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. It shall be when he sits on the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write himself a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. It shall be with him, and he shall read from it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahuwah his Elohim, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them, that his heart not be lifted up above his brothers, and that he not turn away from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the middle of Israel. Yep, in the midst of Israel. So the interesting thing about that, if we pull up let's see here. Nope, wrong one. Nope. Let's see. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Pull up here. Wives. So here we have the exhortation. Also those who enter the ark went in 2 by 2, and concerning the prince it is written, he shall not multiply wives to himself. Deuteronomy 17:17. But David had not read the sealed book of the law, which was in the ark of the covenant, for it was not open in Israel from the death of Eleazar and Joshua and the elders who worshipped Ashtaroth. It was hidden and was not revealed until the coming of Zadok. And the deeds of David rose up, except for the murder of Uriah, and Yahuwah left them to him. So David didn't read Deuteronomy. It was sealed. And the sons of Zadok, it was sealed till the sons of Zadok. Ezekiel 44:15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me. They shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith Yahuwah Elohim. Yes, let's see. Okay, so Ezekiel 48:11, it shall be for the priests that are sanctified of the sons of Zadok, which have kept my charge, which went not astray when the children of Israel went astray, as the Levites went astray. So the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, when they went astray, when the kingdom was divided from Solomon with his son, around that time. So let's see here. So 17, 18. Deuteronomy 18, the priests, the Levites, all the tribe of Levi shall have no portion nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of Yahuwah made by fire and his portion. Till 6. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. Yahuwah is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep. And they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the 2 cheeks, and the maw, the first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep, that shalt thou give him. For Yahuwah thy Elohim hath chosen him out of all thy tribes, to stand to minister before Yahuwah Elohim of you, and to minister and to bless in the name of Yahuwah him and his sons forever. If a Levite comes from any of your gates out of all Israel, where he lives as a foreigner, and comes with all the desire of his soul to the place which Yahuwah shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of Yahuwah his Elohim, as all his brothers the Levites do, who stand there before Yahuwah. They shall have like portions to eat, in addition to that which comes from the sale of his family possessions. When you have come into the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you, you shall not learn to imitate the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found with you anyone who makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, one who uses divination, one who practices sorcery, or an enchanter, or a sorcerer. So for all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahuwah, Elohim of you. Well, let's see. Hold on. Verse 11. Go back here. A charmer. So it goes, let's see. There shall not be found with anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, one who uses divination, who practices sorcery, or an enchanter, or a sorcerer. Divination, pass through the fire, observer of times, enchanter, a witch. It's got witch here. A charmer or a consulter with familiar spirits, a wizard or a necromancer. Okay. So for all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahuwah Elohim of you, and because of these abominations Yahuwah thy Elohim doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with Yahuwah thy Elohim, for these nations which thou shalt possess hearkened unto observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, Yahuwah thy Elohim hath not suffered thee so to do. Yahuwah thy Elohim will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken. It's interesting that's missing in the Dead Sea Scroll right there. According to all that thou desirest of Yahuwah thy Elohim in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again thy voice, the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And Yahuwah said unto me, They have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brothers, like you. I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I shall command him. It shall happen that whoever will not listen to my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet who speaks a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die. So if you go to John 5:46. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? So if you don't believe Moses' writings, how are you going to believe the Messiah's words? He said it, not me. Acts 3. Well, I said it after he said it. Acts 3:20. And he shall send Yahushua, Messiah, which before was preached unto you. Christ just means anointed. Messiah means anointed. No J before the year 1500. So it was Iesus in the Greek. Iesus is not a Hebrew name. His name wasn't Iesus or Jesus. Yahushua, Messiah, which before was preached unto you, whom the heaven must receive until the times of restitution of all things, which Yahuwah hath spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began. Got some feedback here. Alright, since the world began. For Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall Yahuwah your Elohim raise up unto you of all of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall you hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. So, talking about the same thing here. And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. That's what we just read in Deuteronomy right here. The prophet like unto Moses, the Messiah, Yahushua. See this great fire anymore? So you go back, what are they talking about? He was prophesied to teach everything in Deuteronomy 5 here. Give them the 10 Commandments, including the Sabbath day. And you go to these words, it's Deuteronomy 5:22. These words Yahuwah spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire. What did we just read? Midst of the fire, of the cloud of thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. And it came to pass when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountain did burn with fire, that you came near unto me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And you said, Behold, Yahuwah our Elohim hath showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that Yahuwah doth talk with man, and he liveth. Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Yahuwah our Elohim any more, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that hath heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have and lived? Go thou near and hear all that Yahuwah our Elohim shall say, and speak thou unto us all that Yahuwah our Elohim shall speak unto thee, and we will hear it and do it. And Yahuwah heard the voice of your words when you spake unto me, and Yahuwah said unto me, I have heard the voice of the words of all of this people, which they have spoken unto thee. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there were such a heart in them, that they would fear me, and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Forever. So, 21, Deuteronomy 18:21. You may say in your heart, how shall we know the word which Yahuwah has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in Yahuwah's name, if the thing doesn't follow nor happen, that is the thing which Yahuwah has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. So 19. This chair leaning way back. All right, sorry, had to fix my chair. So we got Deuteronomy 19. No, Paleo Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy 19. When Yahuwah thy Elohim hath cut off the nations whose land Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee, and thou succeedeth them, and dwelleth in their cities and in their houses, you shall set apart 3 cities for yourselves in the middle of your land, which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you to possess it. You shall prepare the way and divide the borders of your land, which Yahuwah your Elohim causes you to inherit, into 3 parts, that every man slayer may flee there. 3. Oh, I need to go back to one other thing. Sorry. Let's see. One more thing on the 10 Commandments there. 2 Corinthians 3:3, Paul tells us, for as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Christ Messiah, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living Elohim, not in tables of stone. What's the 10 Commandments in? Tables of stone. But they're supposed to be written in our heart, fleshly tables of the heart. He tells us in Hebrews 10:16, this is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith Yahuwah, I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. And also in Jeremiah, it is Jeremiah 33. Let's see. Jeremiah 31. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahuwah, I will put my law in their inward parts and write them in their hearts, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. So if you want to know more, go read the whole chapter. So we ended on verse 3 here, with the borders for the manslayer to flee to. So 4, and this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past, as when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die, he shall flee unto one of those cities, and live, lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. If Yahuwah your Elohim enlarges your border, as he has sworn to your fathers, and gives you all the land which he promised to give your fathers, if you keep all his commandments to do, which I command you today, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, and to walk ever in his ways, then you shall add 3 cities more for yourselves in addition to these 3. This is so that innocent blood will not be shed in the middle of your land, which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you for an inheritance, leaving blood guilt on you. But if any man hates his neighbor, lies in wait for him, rises up against him, strikes him mortally so that he dies, and he flees from these cities. So 11 to 12. Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Your eye shall not pity him, but you shall purge the innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with you. You shall not remove your neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set, in your inheritance which you shall inherit in the land that Yahuwah your Elohim gives you to possess. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sins. That's lawlessness, or breaking the law. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. If an unrighteous witness rises up against any man to testify against him of wrongdoing, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahuwah, before the priest and the judges who shall be in those days, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness is a false witness, and has testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do to him as he had thought to do to his brother, so you shall remove the evil from among you. Those who remain shall hear and fear, and will never again commit any such evil among you. Your eyes shall not pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So that's the commandment they had. We have a different commandment. Matthew 5:38. The Messiah here is teaching the law. You have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee turn not thou away. You have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. So he's going into that. That's in the law. He tells you, but I say unto you, he gives you a new command. It's the old command brought to the fullness. He brought the law to the fullness, what it was intended to be. All right, Deuteronomy 20, when you go out to battle against your enemies and see horses, chariots, and a people more than you, you shall not be afraid of them, for Yahuwah your Elohim is with you, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. It shall be when you draw near to the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak to the people, and shall tell them, Hear, Israel, you draw near today to battle against your enemies. Don't let your heart faint. Don't be afraid nor tremble, neither be scared of them. For Yahuwah your Elohim is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. The officers shall speak to the people, saying, What man is there who has built a new house and has not dedicated? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. What man is there who has planted a vineyard and has not used its fruit? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die, and another man use its fruit. What man is there who has pledged to be married a wife and has not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. The judges shall speak further to the people, and they shall say, What man is there who is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return to his house, lest his brother's heart melt as his heart. So we'll see the Messiah dealt with that also. Let's see, Matthew 10. No. Where's it at? Forsake all he has. Well, I know it's in there. It is, let's see, let him return. Well, said that do not Luke 14, maybe? No. Well, the Messiah approaches the topic there. Something along those lines. Let him return to his house. Yahuwah, you strike every male. Yep. Messiah said, don't turn back. So 9, it shall be when the officers have finished speaking to the people that they shall appoint captains of armies at the head of the people. And when you draw near to a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace to it. It shall be, if it makes you answer of peace and opens to you, then it shall be that all the people who are found therein shall become forced laborers to you and shall serve you. If it will make no peace with you, but will make war against you, then you shall besiege it. When Yahuwah your Elohim delivers it into your hand, you shall strike every male of it with the edge of the sword. But the women, the little ones, the livestock, and all that is in the city, even all its plunder, you shall take for plunder for yourself. You may use the plunder of your enemies, which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you. Thus you shall do to all the cities which are very far off from you, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these peoples, that Yahuwah your Elohim gives you for an inheritance. You shall save alive nothing that breathes, but you shall utterly destroy them, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, as Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you, that they not teach you to follow all their abominations which they have done to their gods. So would you sin against Yahuwah your Elohim, when you shall besiege a city a long time, and making war against it to take it, you shall not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them. for you may eat of them. You shall not cut them down, for is the tree of the field man that it should be besieged by you? That's interesting. Don't cut the trees down. 19. So, yep. Yep. Trees for meat, which would be fruit, not meat, fruit. 21. If one be found slain in the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him, then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city, shall take a heifer which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in the yoke. The elders of that city shall bring the heifer down to the valley with the running water, which is neither plowed nor sown, and shall break the heifer's neck there in the valley. The priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for them Yahuwah your Elohim has chosen to minister to him, and to bless in Yahuwah's name, and according to their word shall every controversy and every assault be decided. All the elders of that city who are nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley. The elders of the city, they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Forgive Yahuwah your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, and don't allow innocent blood among your people Israel. The blood shall be forgiven them, so you shall put away innocent blood from among you, when you shall do that which is right in Yahuwah's eyes, when you go out to battle against your enemies, and Yahuwah your Elohim delivers them into your hands, and you carry them away captive, and see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you have a desire to her, and desire to take her as your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house. She shall shave her head and trim her nails. 12. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. Yeah. After that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. If a man have two wives, and one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be in the day that he causes his sons to inherit that which he has, that he may not give the son of the beloved the rights of the firstborn before the son of the hated, who is the firstborn. And that sounds like Jacob and Leah and Rachel. Let's see, 38. Jacob. That's 30. Anyways, Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah. He got duped. So 16. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength, and the right of the firstborn is his. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place, and they shall say unto the mortals of his city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious, he will not obey our voice, he is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day, for he that is hanged is accursed of Yahuwah, that thy land be not defiled, with which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance. So you got 23 also here. His body shall not remain all night on the tree, but you shall surely bury him the same day, for he who is hanged is accursed of Yahuwah, that you don't defile your land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you for an inheritance. And what did Messiah do? Galatians 3:13. Messiah hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, Cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. He hung on the tree for us. He redeemed us. And say Matthew 27. When Matthew 27:57, when the even was come, there's a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Yahusha's disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yahusha. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out of in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. When even was come, his body shall not remain all night on the tree. So he took him down before the night. When the even was come, get him off the tree. So let's see, 22. Deuteronomy 22, you shall not see your brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide yourself from them. You shall surely bring them again to your brother. If your brother isn't near to you, or if you don't know him, then you shall bring it home to your house, and it shall be with you until your brother comes looking for it, and you shall restore it to him. So you shall do with his donkey, so you shall do with his garment. So you shall do with every lost thing of your brother's which he has lost, and you have found. You may not hide yourself. You shall not see your brother's donkey or his ox fallen down by the way, and hide yourself from them. You shall surely help him to lift them up again. A woman shall not wear men's clothing, neither shall a man put on women's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahuwah your Elohim. Do you think he changes? I don't think so. We live in the most abominable society since the flood. Malachi 3:6, for I am Yahuwah, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. If it's an abomination then, it's an abomination now. A man puts on a dress, it's an abomination. Why is it any different from women? If you come across a bird's nest on the way, in any tree or on the ground with young ones or eggs, and the hen sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the hen with the young. And you'll notice that, like, people in the 1800s, what's it look like? Women's clothing, men's clothing. Huh. Maybe they knew something we didn't. We don't. Women's clothing. Men's clothing, women's clothing, men's clothing, women's clothing. So we got, okay, if any of you come across a bird's nest on the way, in any tree or on the ground with the young ones or eggs, and the hen sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the hen with the young. You shall surely let the hen go, but the young you may take for yourself, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days. When you build a new house, then you shall make a railing around your roof, so that you don't bring blood on your house if anyone falls from there. You shall not sow your vineyard with two kinds of seed, lest all the fruit be defiled, the seed which you have sown, and the increase of the vineyard of his house. Yes, it's talking about two kinds of seed. 9 to 12. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. If any man take a wife and go in unto her, and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Didn't find tokens of virginity. Let's go back here right quick. 12, make fringes on the four corners of your cloak, which to cover yourself. Number 16. I think it is. Tassels or fringes or hems. Numbers 15. There we go. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and they put them upon the fringe of the borders of a riband of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah, and do them, that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a-whoring. And hang on one second. Be right back. this is what something similar to what it's talking about. I got mine online. So, yep. And that's the same passage in Deuteronomy. And also Matthew 14:36, and besought him they might only touch the hem of his garment, his fringe or tassel, and as many as touched were made perfectly whole. So the Messiah is walking around with tassels because he's keeping the law perfectly. So here we go. 14, accuses her of shameful things. He gives her a bad name. It says, I took this woman. When I came near to her, I didn't find in her the tokens of virginity. Then the young lady's father and mother shall take and bring the tokens of the young lady's virginity to the elders of the city in the gate. Young woman's virginity, not lady. The young woman's father shall tell the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as his wife, and he hates her. Behold, he has accused her of shameful things, saying, I didn't find in your daughter the tokens of virginity, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. They shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. The elders of that city shall take the man and chastise him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give them to the father of the young lady, because he has given a bad name to a virgin of Israel. She shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. 19. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put away evil from among you. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed to a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then you shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and you shall stone them with stones, that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So shalt thou put away evil from among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. So, Deuteronomy 23. I'm going to stop there. This is a good Google Playbooks download. You can check it out. Gives you some of the translations. Deuteronomy. So we got go to Deuteronomy here. So we're on 2022 and 15. No. $22. Oh, here we go. Yeah, woman. Why he translated lady. See, yeah. Then the young lady's father. Then the girl's father. So it's girls here. Woman, 14. Yeah, so he's got translated girl, or they have it a mother. Girl's virginity. Girl's father. He's got young lady. But anyways, that's a good reference there to use that. And the book you can get. Don't order it today. It's the Sabbath. I'm not being legalistic. Yes, what you're supposed to do. So, yep. Very good resource. There's the hardcover. And also, there's this here. Goes through a lot of details. Has a listing of what they found in each cave. So this is cave 1. You'll see on the fragments 1Q. That means cave 1. 1Q Habakkuk, 1QM, 1QH, 1Q Genesis Apocryphon. So this is all found in cave 1. Tons of stuff. And then you got cave 2, 2Q. You got cave 3, 3Q. They found Jubilees in there, Scripture. Testament of Judah, Scripture. So you got 5Q. List of manuscripts from cave 4 here. By far the most productive of all caves, so that's the reason they didn't include a list here. Cave 5. Cave 6. It's interesting here. If you read the Damascus document, it says the new covenant in the land of Damascus. And what are we under? The new covenant. And they consider the law of Moses to still be binding in the new covenant. Cave 7, Cave 8, Cave 9, Cave 10, 11. This is what caught my eye earlier. Cave 12 was discovered in 2017, but that looked like people had went in. There were pickaxes and broken scroll jars, and they had went in and looted it in the 50s. So there's nothing in it. Or they discovered it in Cave 12 and took everything out of it, and now they're saying it's looted. One or the other. So you got different pictures of the fragments. Ignore the Essene thing, because the people in the Dead Sea Scrolls tell you who they are. They're not Essenes. They're Levites. They're sons of light. They're sons of Aaron, sons of Zadok. That's who was at the Dead Sea, John the Baptist and the Levites, not Essenes. Essenes were 25 miles south. Got all the different scripts that was found there. Biblical Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, Assyrian block script, what they call Hebrew today is Assyrian, cryptic script. And you got Aramaic square, Greek uncial script, Nabatean script, biblical books found, numbers found, 21 of Jubilees, and 25 of Enoch. Ranks right up there with Psalms, Deuteronomy, Genesis, Isaiah. Next to them would be Exodus, then Leviticus, then Numbers, Minor Prophets, Daniel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Job, Tobit, Kings, Samuel, Judges, Song of Songs, Ruth, Lamentations, Sirach, Ecclesiastes, Joshua. They say non-biblical books. Yeah, that's what they say. They're non-biblical. Got lots of resources you can look at. Tons of resources. Here is another good one. Dead Sea Scrolls. Yep. It says 96. Very good translation. Michael Wise, Dead Sea Scrolls. Anyways, it's good stuff. Alright, well, happy Sabbath. And hope this was a blessing and helpful to somebody. And y'all have